Welcome to the Solely Inside Conversations, an attempt from me to explain an ongoing experience I've spent years trying to put to words. This is that story.
Yes.
Jenny, welcome back to another session.
Hi, Dan.
I'm so glad you came back for more. There's obviously more chapters of detail in this that I should get through and try and wrap our head around. Today I want to touch base on a few things and then kind of get into some of the juice of it. I remember in the origin story video, I guessed the date. I think I guessed the 15th or the 11th or something. I forget, but I was wrong on that date. I think it was the 6th, which was Thursday. I just wanted to get that clear. And then, so today I wanted to talk about a few different things. In the last video, we touched on kind of that buzzing atom vibration of like a frequency when the build-up's happening. And so, like the build-up happens and then all of a sudden you're in this kind of frequency that you feel like on an energy plane, like you're just at one with you're at one with a particular frequency and your body just goes away. And so, but what I want to kind of highlight there is there's actually several energy planes, depending on what's happened and all the way it's built up. On the one I described in the last video, the waist is critical because what happens is it builds up through the feet and through the legs, builds and builds and builds, and then it tends to kind of get stopped at the waist for a substantial amount of time while it continues to build up. And then at some point it'll kind of break free of that in like and that's when like it'll come up the side or up the spine. And so, that's, so the waist is obviously really important to that particular frequency. But there's other frequencies that it's really doesn't really play much of a role that's obvious. And this doesn't happen to me anymore, but just a really interesting example is probably about 4 months in, this started, and it probably stopped about 13, 15 months ago. And that is in a session, it'll just be going as normal. And then all of a sudden, at some point in the room, you'll hear this, and then that noise, or that like there's something in the room, and then that generates this flood of just euphoria, and that can only be described as almost like the chills when you got the shivers. Make that positive, like vibey, and times that by, I don't know, like your entire body just gets like a wave comes over, and then that buzz in that particular frequency will sort of last about 10 minutes, and then like it could happen again, or it could be another build-up of energy in which something else is about to build up and happen. But it was really interesting on that kind of, and that has been it's been that sound, like someone breathing out. But it's also been like it's mimicked my alarm clock before, and that's happened. It's made something rattle on the coffee table, and it's happened. I've heard growls, and something that I'm not really scared of anymore because it's like I know something beautiful is about to flood through my body. So I've kind of heard this, but that's like a different type of session. And so once in a sauna, I was in the sauna alone, and I heard creaking like someone else was in that sauna with me. I was in meditation, and then like I kept on my eyes going, no, there's no one here. There's no one here. There's no one here. Then all of a sudden, in the sauna, I heard this black from just there, and again in the sauna, that same flood of just like and it was the perfect timing in the sauna as well. Because that's the kind of different things that we're kind of talking about, but there is one which is really common, and it's almost like it's a really dense frequency, and it starts up through the legs and then kind of builds up over time through the body, and your entire body's in this like really low plane, kind of just like such a gentle but like a weight that's coming from the bottom, and it's not pulling you down. It's just a part of you now, and your entire body is just. And so that can be. There's been times where that's been one leg. There's been times where it's only been the legs, and there's been times where it's flooding through the body. And again, that's very low, a much denser frequency that can kind of cause some of the outcomes of these kind of these euphoric moments, which again can repeat. So in a session, if I do like a longer session, I can get different types of these end game kind of frequencies. If I just lie there and kind of give it a don't have things to do, I guess. But yeah, so that's the kind of different ways that I'll explain that, and there's different kind of ways to get to those outcomes. But the next thing I wanted to talk about is heat and weight. Now, I will touch on nighttime sessions, which is a bit of an intense chat in another kind of chapter of this, but I'll be in a session and I will feel this intense heat at like one part of my body, or at the center of my palms, which are kind of face down on my hips. And so I feel this kind of, like sometimes just like, sometimes it's a buildup of a heat, sometimes it's a compression, like something wrapping around, and then an intense heat from there. Sometimes it can be part of like if it's healing my ankle, like part of that process. Other times it can be other random parts of the body. But it's definitely got this need to create this heat if it's not part of the kind of the rest of the ecosystem. And similar to weight, like at nighttime, it's like something I would be sitting on the bed. I'll have like a large dense weight on my forearm when all the other things are going on. I'll have sometimes like entire weight on my body, but not like a scary weight. It's about to do something therapeutic weight, and you can feel it energetically move as well. Now, I don't think I've brought up the blob before, but that's like a very dense, almost, I call it the blob or the crab, but it like crawls across. When I saw this one night, so when it's on your body, it feels very dense and electromagnetic. Let's see, and your body reacts to that extra energy because it's too much energy in such a small place. And so, like, I was lying on the lounge one night, and I felt a blob create itself, like sort of on the side of my leg, and I was like, okay, something's about to go down. And then I saw it run, like almost like scatter between my legs and off the lounge, and it was like a grey matter thing that was just. And so that's part of it, and that weight is kind of often linked to that type of kind of blob-like frequency, which is kind of grey-brown in color. And so the next thing I want to chat about. Well, I guess any questions there before I continue?
Not really. I was just wondering if it depended on your mood, what sort of sensations you were getting, like.
I've thought about that over the years, and there's no linkages there. Like, the only thing, if I'm tired and I'm slowly almost falling asleep in a session, well then not much will happen generally there. But like I can be in any states of mind. I can be so no, it doesn't. It's like, I don't know. But I've definitely tried to look for those commonalities and kind of over the ages. And so so in a session just then, actually I'll stay on hands for a second, because it's really cool. So if you're in, like, if it's building up different legs for different frequencies, and my hands are on my hips, kind of face down, it's really interesting to feel the hands sometimes pick up the frequencies that my legs are feeling, and at different frequencies it doesn't. And so So in a session, I can almost like have this hand join that frequency now. So it's now my legs aren't legs anymore. That it's just a energetic part of the blob.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, like it's really interesting to feel what your hands feel as the lower part of your body is going through these energetic
mm,
experiences and changes
mm,
because they vary even with what they
mm,
feel. Um, and they can even have a lot to do of sort of what happens in the build up because
mm,
often there'll be like a bit of a flicker from this finger or like here. Now I can feel energy go from here into my pelvis and
mm,
that'll kind of spark an energetic something.
mm.
So obviously they're
That's
part of it.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mentioned heat before, and that's a commonality that happens quite often. But in the session that I had just before this chat, um, it was the opposite. And sometimes I feel cold spots, and no, that's fine. But this particular one, it changed about halfway through, even towards the end. It's like my legs started. So the entire session, the legs were pretty much even with their what was happening. And then something happened, I'm not quite sure what, but all of a sudden my legs themselves weren't cold, but there were energy bands that were linking different parts of my legs together.
Mm,
Um, and and that connectivity on those spots were cold. And I can
mm,
feel almost breezy by my feet
mm,
while this was going on. And so that probably lasted 20 minutes. And it was a really, really interesting because, like, it's like, I say, legs are here and they'll kind of here, here, here,
mm,
here. And so those cold spots on the legs, and I can feel the cold in the middle as it kind of interacted with my legs. And it's like those spots of the legs were talking because I could feel
mm, mm,
interactivity between those bands. It was, and really quite intensely, but really quite
mm. Have you
interesting.
had coldness much before?
And not a lot.
Because
He's
it is colder the last couple of days as well.
thanks. But this is really interesting. I thought I might kind of share that one. Um, Another thing that I can try and um, describe would be, I'm trying to think. Sorry about this kind of this empty noise. Is Yeah, the I mentioned the waist before, but with that comes the kind of the groin area, and that receives a lot of energy in, um, and it kind of builds up almost like a ticklish way. But that ticklish sensation becomes a pretty common game with like a lot of this sort of stuff. Um, Next week, I think what we should talk about is the scarier side of some of these things,
Mm,
because I was starting to read my old diaries in the early days just to try and refresh some of this and some of the earlier stuff. It was almost really quite creepy,
mm,
um, but yeah, that's definitely another time I think. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll probably do about 6 sessions a week, which is a big time commitment, as but like a lot of people meditate every day, so I'm not alone in that. And yeah, it's absolutely
mm,
incredible. Energetically, it's transformed me 100%.
mm.
And so, yeah, um,
You do it at the same time every day?
I generally try to. With my work, it's difficult sometimes to be in the same routine. But yeah, definitely try and do it early evening.
Always in the evening, in the early evening.
Yeah, if I'm working from home, sometimes like a little bit earlier maybe, and then I'll jump back onto the computer.
Mm.
Get on the weekends, I'll just probably I do it through the day. But yeah,
And you find it quite rejuvenating.
oh, the colours are brighter. Life is better. It's just it puts a smile on my face, and look, I've been saying to people like the higher your frequency, the more polite you are. And so
Mm,
whenever I go for walks, like mostly after a session, I'm glowing.
mm,
So yeah, like I've been in sessions, I've kind of flagged like, what if it is bad? Like, yeah, I'm letting this entity in. But then I just have to lean back into that trust and just everything that it's done for me to date has been light and love. Um,
Mm.
and so yeah, it's just been a lovely journey so far. And every
That's
session I
really
kind of
good.
go down, and I hope that it's going to happen that day, and it's never not happened,
Mm.
because I don't want Crichton to go away.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, where it's taking me as well, I'm
Mm.
not sure. And so yeah,
Mm. And does it intrude on your day very much?
no. But that said, I mean, I was in a meeting with the board of the NDIA
Mm.
a couple of years ago, and I could feel my vision start to be impaired because of the light trickling down past my eyes. And so you get really good at playing that.
Mm.
What's normal interaction versus play how to just let this work. It's
Mm.
but yeah, it's yeah, get even every day. I mean, I still marvel or question how normal I've made these experiences,
Mm.
because it's
Yeah.
not like
Okay.
I remember
Yeah.
what it was like before,
Yeah.
and this is different.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thanks again, Jenny. I hope you have a lovely night, and yeah, look forward to our next little chat.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, catch up next week.
Sounds good. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.